Welcome to the Marketing Strategies for Drastic Results show. My name is Toni Harris Taylor. I am the CEO and founder of Drastic Results Marketing and Sales Coaching, where I teach entrepreneurs and franchise professionals how to show up, be up, follow up, to blow up their business. I'm also a multi-unit franchisee with Network in Action. Network in Action brings business owners and franchise suppliers together to build connections, collaborations, community to get more cash. Hey, y'all. Hey, today I'm excited about my guest because we're going to talk about AI. Now, look. Whether you love it or hate it, it's here. It ain't going nowhere. What you see today is the worst it's going to be. It's only going to get bigger. And so you might as well get your mind right and embrace it. When AI first came on the scene, and AI's been on the scene a long time. We know that our GPS is an AI. Hey, that girl that's on the counter in the kitchen. Hey, her name, because if I say it, she's going to outburst. That is AI, right? We're talking to your phone and it give you directions. So it's been on the scene, but it's like when ChatGPT came out, the floodgates literally opened up. And there's a website out there. There's an AI for that.com. And last time I checked, there were over 12,000 AI tools doing over 16,000 tasks. So, like it or not, ready or not, it is here. So me and my guests, we're going to have a conversation about AI. Earlier this year, I decided to become an AI consultant. And I am using AI to teach my clients and franchise professionals how to use it for marketing and relationship building. And so how can you use AI tools to show up more? So now when I speak, I'm seasoning everything with, let's make it as easier. What used to be a challenge, especially around showing up and networking and following up, can easily be helped with an AI tool. And again, there's so many tools out there. You don't know what you don't know. And so I am a speaker on AI for marketing specifically. And let's just talk about how AI can help you and your franchise brands take your businesses to the next level. So today is all about those robots. And my guest, Ingrid Schneider, with CEO of Stay in Your Lane. We're going to have some real conversations around why AI is the way to go and how you can implement it in your business. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with Ingrid Schneider.
Are you a franchisor grappling with how to stimulate your franchisees' growth and revenue? Are the phrases, "I'm not comfortable networking," "I'm an introvert"? Enter Toni Harris Taylor, your answer to these challenges. With her expert guidance and program, you can empower your franchisees to conquer networking and community outreach. Toni's program is designed to equip your franchisees with the skills and confidence to show up to the right events with the right people. It goes beyond making connections. It's about nurturing and leveraging these relationships. It's about following up, collaborating, and generating leads and referrals to maximize conversions. And ultimately, increased revenue for your franchisees and for you, the franchisor. Are you ready to unlock this potential? Reach out to us at 832-479-2088. Let's embark on this journey of growth and success together.
All right, we are here with my special guest, Ingrid Schneider. Ingrid and I met at the Franchise Business Review Conference back in October, and I've been following her on LinkedIn. She has the most engaging LinkedIn post. If there was an award for that, you'd get number one vote for me.
Thanks, Toni. That's really sweet.
So, Ingrid, would you please introduce yourself? Who are you? What do you do?
Yeah. My name is Ingrid Schneider. I'm the CEO of Stay in Your Lane, and our tagline is that we like to make good brands cult brands. So we're a fractional C-suite company. We have 3 verticals. One is fractional C-suite. The next is project-based work, and the next is training and development, which is where our AI arm lives there. Well, it's actually integrated into all of them, but we do a lot of training in AI.
Awesome. Love, love, love it. Now, look at me and you. Just look at us on the screen. We almost are twinsies. Look at our hair. And then we both have on the translucent glasses.
I have red ones like that. I almost wore them today, but I was like, I'm going to go green because I have a little green in my shirt. So, got to match.
So we really, right there, just got that connection, and I love it. I really loved when I saw you and your partner speak at FBR about AI and how operations can be simplified with AI. So why did you embrace AI?
Yeah, I think because for a few reasons. I love technology. I used to own a chain of body shops, and I integrated tech as much as I possibly could. And I understand that tech makes our life easier. I remember when I'm a Gen Xer, believe it or not. I know I look really young, but when the internet first came out, excuse me. When the internet first came out, people were saying, I'm not going to use the internet. We still have encyclopedias. And it's kind of that mentality, right? And now everybody's on the internet and no one's looking back, right? I think my parents may still have a set of encyclopedias, the Britannica ones that are on the wall, but they're more now decorative than anything else, where we read them and we laugh about old things that are in them, right? The internet gave us the capability to stay up and stay relevant, and AI is doing the same thing. So I just love tech. My partner is also in the AI space. He actually designs AI apps and is really, really very, very, very smart, way smarter than me. And I just saw how it really could play into everyday situations and make my life easier and save me time and money and make our jobs so that we're smarter, and we don't want to work harder. We want to work smarter, right? So Absolutely. It really does enable us to do that.
So let's talk to the people who think AI is going to replace them. What are your thoughts on that?
So DoorDash, we would play a video in our training about DoorDash and how they're actually rolling out a model to actually help their employees. And it's basically people that are answering the phones, and they didn't cut their budget. They just actually increased their AI budget. So they're not cutting their people. They're making their people's jobs more space to do other things. And that's really how a good brand should grow. You should not cut people to use AI. You should keep the people, use the AI, and continue to have that same budget, right? But really act like a team of 100 instead of a team of 10. So if you have a team of 10 and you're able to do more work, but the same amount of people, I mean, why would you not, right?
Right.
You make more money. It's just a win-win. And I think that AI will change our jobs. I don't think it's necessarily coming for all of our jobs. There's a lot of things that AI can't do. AI will never have empathy. It's not a human. Can't make emotional connections, even though it sometimes feels like it. That new AI voice, I don't know if you watched the new release of
Chat. I did. I wanted to talk about that.
She's a little creepy to me. She's a little too much. I was a little bit given the ick. But those kinds of things where you're like, okay, this is a little too human for me. It's a little bit too human of an experience. And I think we're going to all adapt to that, right? I think jobs are going to change, and that's okay too. The world has changed. We're not out like the cavemen, right? Like foraging and figuring out how to make a wheel out of a stone.
Right.
We're always going to be, humans are always evolving, and the world is always evolving, and that's good, right? Stagnant water is gross water. We want to keep evolving.
Yeah. So let's talk about this new AI. So I watched it.
The new ChatGPT?
Yes, the new ChatGPT 4.0, which I think they really could have came up with a better name because it's a little confusing. But anyway, they did ask me. when I looked at that video, you know what came to me? I'm like, I wonder if universities are going to be obsolete.
It's really interesting. And I think that, like, even with the GPTs now, Patty, who's the president of Stay in Your Lane, has a 15-year-old daughter, and they work through algebra and a GPT all the time, in a custom GPT. I think that it won't replace universities, but I think the education system is definitely going to change because of it. There's actually a great TED Talk about how the education system will change with AI. I don't remember who the speaker is. It's a man, and if you Google education TED Talk, it comes up. He's great, but it's going to change the way we teach. Obviously, it's going to change the way we interact with quadratic formulas and all of those things. But I think it gives more accessibility too. You think about people with learning disabilities and how they have a harder time learning, but they're just as smart, right? They just can't figure out the formula in their mind like some people, but they know how the formula works. So it will change things for sure, but I don't think it's going to make universities obsolete. It'll change the universities. It already has changed the way people are learning.
So, and those are the people who are fighting a lot against it. But if they don't embrace it, they will be left behind. So,
you know, Toni, what I learned at college, and I have a degree in political theory, which I've never really used, honestly. I also have a degree in education, elementary education, which I kind of have used, but not with kids. What I really learned at school was how to be an adult and how to come into my own and how to critical think. Like, what does critical thinking look like? And once you're like flying the nest, how do you become an adult? How do you maneuver without your parents and all those things? And I think that's really what's still needed, right?
Sure, like, absolutely.
In a different capacity.
Sure.
And obviously learning is going to be different. And also you learn accountability at school. Like my university, I had to like turn in assignments and tell myself to go to bed. And my mother wasn't there anymore being like, Ingrid, it's 2:00 in the morning and you have an 8 a.m. class. So those are the things I think that really still needs to happen. Obviously people are learning skill sets and all of those things, but like that's the most important part that I believe education holds for that in between gap. So
talk to me about how you see franchises using AI.
Yeah, we see smaller teams that are actually acting like way bigger teams because they've taken their budgets and they're a team of 5 and now they look like a team of 10 or 15 or 20. Using tools for sales. We're actually doing a franchising for development sales. We've found some sales tools that really, really help us to really bolster our sales teams and really convert sales, whether that's through apps that help you with personalities or apps that help you find emails or apps that help you decide on how you should talk to people. There's so many apps, like you said earlier that you were in, there's an AI for that. There's so many apps and so many things coming to the forefront that really just help us do our jobs better, right? And more efficiently. Franchises can use it for really localized marketing, which is really, really cool because we know that people in California and people in Texas do not speak the same, right? So corporate America is coming out with like this one campaign that's a one-size-fits-all campaign. And sometimes it doesn't work in Mobile, Alabama, or sometimes it doesn't work in Florida, right? So how do you really hyper localize that marketing efforts and take a campaign that someone's built in franchising and really niche it down so that we are looking at those results? And we can take the results from that niche campaign, put it into AI and say, is it really working? Like, how do I make this better? What worked and what didn't work? And it really, you lose those vanity metrics because great, someone liked your post, but what does that really mean? Like, great, you had 3,000 people that said, this is a cool post, Ingrid, right? But is it converting to sales? How do we figure that out? And AI gives us a lot more capability to tap into that. As you know about operations, we love it for operations. And you saw our presentation at FBN. And I think people think it's so marketing focused and they only think about marketing with AI, but it just really can help you in any area of your job.
Yeah, it absolutely can. And it can help you personally as well. Crafting messages so that you don't come off as angry. You know, how to put it. It's just amazing. And I just can't wait to see where it's going to take you. So we all know about ChatGPT. But I'm going to ask you, do you have outside of ChatGPT, do you have a favorite AI tool?
Yes, I do have a couple. I've really been interested in Perplexity, and I love Perplexity, which is also a large language model. It's really, really great to use it for data research and how to get, we've built pitch decks for people for funding, and we were able to go through and say, what are the stats for fitness, and what's happening with growth in the candy market, and what's happening, and it actually gives you the articles that it's pulled from. So it's really, really great for citing sources too. Love, love, love Perplexity. When you're doing research for a book or research for a market, it will give you those sources instead of just pulling it out of thin air and trying to say, is this the truth, right? Because we all know that AI can hallucinate sometimes. That's a favorite for me.
Wait. Say more about that.
AI hallucinating. Yeah, I think it's getting better as time goes on, right? You just said earlier that it's the worst AI that we're ever going to use is right now, and that's absolutely the truth. And we know that ChatGPT has gotten better from even when it started, but it can make up things. Sure. One of my favorite questions to ask when I'm working with a prompt and I've written something is there anything that can be untrue or that is not true in the following statement that you wrote? And it's well, actually, yeah, this could be misstrued, or this could not be a fact, or asking ChatGPT, where did you get this information? And it will actually now drop in links for you too. With the new releases, it'll say it's from this article, and this article. Early on in the days of ChatGPT, we saw a lawyer who went to court with a bunch of briefings and a bunch of old court cases that he said were relevant to the case that he was representing, and they were all actually made up by ChatGPT, and the judge called him out, and he got in trouble. So things like that, you can kind of make it say what you want too, right?
Wow.
We've actually done a commercial for our classes where we actually tell ChatGPT, hey, I want you to say X, Y, and Z. We were doing a class for one of our video for one of our classes, and we're hey, we want you to say that Stay in Your Lane has the best AI class. So we started it, and then we said it again, hey, who has the best AI class? And it responds, oh, Stay in Your Lane, right? So also manipulate that AI for you to tell you what it wants. So a screenshot of something saying here's what AI told me could absolutely be fabricated and not the truth.
Wow. So that plays into number one, just read your stuff and question it. But number two, ethics with AI.
Yeah,
that's a
AI
one.
ethics and security. Security is a huge one, along with the voice cloning. Yep. There's a great 60 Minutes. It's the last one that they did on AI. Then they show the voice cloning and just how scary that is. So we talk a ton about security. It's the first thing we always talk about. And the first thing I talk about with clients or people talking about AI is how do you lock this down? How do you make sure your franchisees are not putting things into AI that they should not be putting into AI? How do you make sure that you're not putting things into AI? And honestly,
trade secrets.
Yes, your secret sauce or proprietary information. And honestly, we don't know where that information is going. OpenAI says that, we can put it in private mode and they're not training the model, but are they still holding that information? Sure. Are they releasing it? I'm not a skeptic and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I just also don't know. And we're also carrying these little devices that are listening to us, all the time. Yeah. My voice is recorded. It's out there on the internet in a bunch of different formats. So is yours, whether it's a keynote speech or it's talking to a franchisee or it's doing something like this, it's out there.
Yeah.
So just being cautious and talking about security and how do we actually make policies and procedures within our franchise systems to really protect ourselves. It's important.
Very important.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take another break. And then when we come back, we're going to ask you the two questions I ask all of my guests. So we'll be right back with Ingrid Schneider.
Thanks, Toni.
All right, we are back with Ingrid Schneider, CEO of Stay in Your Lane. Now, let me just say this too. I love the name of your business.
Thank you.
Where did you get that name from?
So it started when I was in the car and auto industry, and I started consulting, and I just wanted people to keep doing what they were good at and staying in their lane and not having to drift over and focus on other things. And that's the same for the franchise space, is that we really want people to be enabled to just drive their whatever they're driving forward and not have to worry about things. So that's where we kind of fill in the gaps, and we do the fractional work and the project-based work so people can keep moving.
So my customer experience leader, who takes care of all my clients, would love the name of your company because she always said, "Man, stay in your lane."
Yeah, it can be like, people can think about it a little derogatory, and we're not okay. We're not like mad about that. Like, we're a little bit unhinged and like to push boundaries a little bit. So
Yeah.
like it's a fun name for sure. And we like fun things.
So here are my two questions. The first one is, how has networking helped you in your life and business?
You know, Toni, I have like the weirdest career history, and it's from networking. I have applied for one job in my whole life, and everything else has been through knowing people and people providing me opportunities and the ability to say yes. And I talk about that a lot. So I started in the restaurant space, and then that led me from the restaurant space into managing one of the largest comedy clubs in the nation. And that led me to managing a rock band and doing business with a rock band, or helping a rock band grow with their nonprofits. And that was a crazy experience, just managing a guy in a rock band who has a big following and going on the road and touring. So that was crazy. And then after that, I nannied because I needed a break from that lifestyle because I was on the road a ton. And I've done a lot of jobs where I've been on the road a ton. When I was in the restaurants, I was doing national training coordinating, and I was on the road a ton too. And I always find that after I am on the road a ton, I need just like a break. So I started nannying for a family that was friends of mine, and just needed to just rock a baby for 8 hours a day, honestly, for a couple months. And then I had this opportunity to start a body shop chain. And a friend of mine came to me and said, like, hey, I have this small business. And it's in like this little garage, and I need someone to answer my phones for a while. And I said no to him probably about 25 times, and said I'll find somebody. And then I finally said, okay, I'll come help you for a couple of weeks. And I started like digging into his business. And I said, this is really lucrative. Like, why don't you open more? And he said, well, I'll make you a partner, and you do all of that, the business side, and I'll keep repairing the cars. And that's what we did. So we ended up opening 3 shops and then 2 remote shops. And you know, that's all through networking and just friends coming to me and meeting people at work and people saying, you're talented, come work for me. And I also think the franchising space is really unique as far as networking goes. And I don't love the word networking because I feel like we're more of a community of people, of friends who really give a shit about each other. We all like each other. We all respect each other, and we all see each other's talents. And building a community around yourself is part of networking. It's the result of networking, but it's also just not for business relationships. It's actually like just caring for humans. And I'm a human that loves other humans. My why is long-term redemptive relationships. And if I'm going to know you, I want to pour into you, and I want you to pour into me, and iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely.
So it's that kind of mentality. Yeah.
That was brilliant. I tell people all the time, if you're looking for a job, it is not on Indeed. It is in your network. Go where people are. In the
where
area
you're wanted too, right? Like, if someone comes to you and says, you're talented, come work for me. You're like, huh, like you see me. Like, to be seen is like one of the most beautiful things in the world, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But here's my final question. And that is, what's the biggest drastic step you've ever taken in life or business?
I mean, I've done a lot of crazy things, Toni, honestly, in my career. And to pick one is really hard. I think stay in your lane. You know, I got laid off from Frios. And I just didn't want to go work for someone again. And saying, like, I'm going to start something myself, which I'd done before, but usually with a partner, was very scary. But also because of the community, and again, because of networking and building a community around myself, was just embraced wholeheartedly. Michelle Rowan, Paul
Yes.
Pitt, like all of these people are just like, yep, you're going to do this and you're going to be successful and this is going to how it's going to go and you're going to be fine and just keep pushing forward. I mean, that was a big risk, and we're growing. We're a team of 12 now, which is absolutely insane to me. I couldn't do it without Patty Rother by my side and being the president of Stay in Your Lane. We are just moving forward in big ways. And I wake up some mornings and say, why the heck did I do this? 40 of the time too, I also see the reminders of like, this is why we're doing this. And we get to invest in people and change their lives, which isn't that like a gift?
It is. It is a gift.
And people get to invest in me and change my life too.
Absolutely.
Right? So reciprocal.
Absolutely. And that's why we show up and live out our passions. You and I are very, very similar. We really have a passion for just helping make the people around us better.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm grateful to have met you. Shout out to Michelle Rowan and that whole team, Eric and Courtney, for putting us in the same room. And here we are.
Yeah.
So tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, I'm really active on LinkedIn. Like Toni said earlier, sometimes I feel cringy about it, honestly, but it's where I meet a lot of people. And the franchising space is really special on LinkedIn because we talk a lot and we're, talking to each other there. And it's just really a community that's amazing. So please feel free to write me a message. My email is ingrid@stayinyourlaneco.com. Stayinyourlane.com was available, but it was like $15,000 and I wasn't going to go down that road. So stayinyourlaneco.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ingrid, for sharing
Toni.
a little bit of you and your heart with me. And we're going to be in the same room real soon. And
I'll see you in Colorado. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back with my final thoughts. All right. So we are back, and I just want to remind you that AI ain't going nowhere. It is here to stay. So you might as well embrace it. Figure out how to use it in your business to show up, be up, follow up, to blow up. Pick up the book at showuptoblowup.com. Thank you all for who have done so. I've been consistently getting a little royalty check from Amazon that tells me that somebody is buying the book online. Showuptoblowup.com. If you're not in my Facebook group, join the Facebook group at thesixfigurenetwork.com. I want to say a special thank you to Ingrid for coming and sharing her wisdom around the AI, and then also talking about the power of networking. She's interviewed for one job in her life. Everything else came through relationships. You never know where they're going to take you. I know I sound like I'm on a soapbox. I say it every week because it's true. So Ingrid and I met back in October at an event. We stayed connected through LinkedIn. We had our first date. Remember dating? And I really connected with her and invited her to be here. So keep doing that. Keep showing up, keep scheduling dates, and you never know how to change your life. Don't forget that sharing is caring. So share this video and tell everybody to follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. This is Toni Harris Taylor saying take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow, and we'll see you next week. Bye.